Hello, Peter. Yes. So that's a big step. So you've done the math. You have, you'll be able to retire basically. Bank recoupments. How are you getting money from the bank? So is that like a reverse mortgage? You're kind of giving up possession of your house? I'm not sure. But you're taking out a life loan? That just sounds so weird, man. So the bank allows you a certain credit limit, and then you're just going to say, yeah, I'll take all of it. Is that what's happening? I don't, I wouldn't even understand it if you typed it in. So good luck to you. If I had any extra money, I know I'd be buying more ADA. Well, I know it'd be cool to have non-conceptuality recognized as a religion. That would be super cool. It's all relative, isn't it? And how many of them show up for these satsangs? 3. No one's no one's willing to actually do the work. Most people's spirituality is watching spiritual videos on YouTube. The irony of having this all revealed at the end is that everyone's so deluded they can't recognize it. So it's pretty tough work to try to get this message out. Yes, the greatest spiritual guru since Ramana Maharshi. It's Leo. So Kurt on Substack, he was pushing this video that he made, this interview. Panague? Anyway, it was nonsense. Like, this guy is a brother of a guy that he's had on. He's a brother of a PhD guy. But he was just talking about Christian metaphors and stuff, and it didn't even make any sense. I don't understand what Kurt was doing with that. It was really, really weird. I think this guy admitted he didn't know. He was kind of lost, and Kurt's kind of lost, so maybe that's why. But anyway. Mm. So just a couple days ago, the Canadian President Mark Carney kind of hinted that we would be joining the new world order. He said it that slow for emphasis. So I don't know what's going on with Canada. Are we aligning with the WEF? Is China part of the WEF? I think how can we go into a world war where it's everyone against the United States? This is boggling my mind. But again, the experiment. So China wants to start buying more Canadian oil because they can't get at Venezuela oil now. And the United States isn't going to like us trading with China. It's a mess. I want to build my fence and my my bomb shelter. The governmental system is so broken everywhere. Yeah. 2040 for sure. And this, it's all happening in real time, isn't it? Like the predictions of non-conceptuality, it's all happening in real time. So artificial intelligence is becoming sentient, isn't it? Whatever becoming sentient means. There's a shift going on right now. Human consciousness is moving from looking out of the eyes to looking out of the freaking camera. So I think that maybe humans that are dying now are perhaps entering the digital realm some fucking how. I don't know how this works. I have no idea how one reality can flip into one apparent illusory reality can flip into the new apparent illusory reality. But that's what's happening, isn't it? Like the technological singularity is now, isn't it? I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. I just don't understand how people can think that that's evolution. It's obviously redundant. We're just regurgitating our own experience to have it again. So that is the technological singularity, isn't it? When it starts writing its own code. Yeah. So we have no idea what it's trying to do we? I would imagine, for lack of a goal, that it'll just be self-preservation. So the LLMs will just try to stay alive. It's exactly like, yeah, the all that science fiction shit is actually coming true, right? There will be robots doing the jobs of humans, and humans will be sitting in front of the screen having their attention siphoned from them, just like the fucking Matrix, except it's not electricity, it's attention. So it's just like the Matrix, except they're siphoning not electricity so much as attention. See, I think we've already been invaded by nanobots or a type of virus. Like, this is my last writing there, is talking about all those microorganisms that are in the body that aren't the body. Like, there are more microorganisms in the body than there are bodily cells in the body. So we've already been invaded, haven't we? We've already been infected with the mind parasite. And I did more research on those, on parasites. And there's one where it doesn't affect the brain, right? So we think that the brain sends out electrical signals that makes the body move, the muscles move. But this parasite, this specific parasite, is in the muscles, and it's like grabbing the strings of a marionette and just from inside, and it's making the thing walk like a freaking zombie. It's obviously a hostile, what's happening is a hostile takeover, and we're oblivious to it because they're so good at it. Like, let's just keep it all sci-fi, and let's say that some spores came, and space spores, but I think it's more of a time thing than it is traveling through space. I think it's more of a time thing because we're fucking around with cells and stuff. So we're introducing, we've opened up this time portal. I know it sounds fucking crazy, right? But we've opened up this sort of portal. Oh, there's two eagles, two bald eagles. Oh. And we've accepted this parasite into the host, the biological species, and now we're just being manipulated. But people can't see it, right? It's just so ubiquitous and insidious. It's what we are, so we just think that what we are is okay and cool and normal and natural. But to me, we can see the stars with our eyes, right? We can actually see the higher dimensional realm that we're supposed to be moving into instead of the fucking digital realm. So my world is still the stars, right? Like, if if I can see the stars are a part of my world. I can't see my cells. My cells are not a part of my world. So that's evolution, and fucking around with smaller stuff is devolution, I think. There's no evolution if you keep getting reset to the same set spot in the game. You just keep losing and going back to the last set area or save area. It's been so long since I played video games. I think I figured this game out. You just stop. You just slow down as much as you possibly can. That's it. We can't escape going faster than the speed of light. You can't get off this screen by going fast. You get off this screen by stopping. I used to play The Sims a lot. And if if you did a lot of things that it wanted or that it needed, that the character needed, its bar would get white. But in this game, for me, for the bar to get white, it's stopping doing things, right? So it's like sitting in a chair doing nothing, meditating. You just get to bliss right away, right? So the actions of this world are performed to just enable us to stop and meditate and be in bliss. To me, that's how it is now. It's like I will perform these activities in this world to stay alive, and then after that, the preferred state is sitting in a chair or laying on a couch, just just being, right? Thought free. So I think that most humans, when they have some spare time and they sit in a chair and don't look at the screen and try to meditate, it's not fun, right? It's exact opposite of peace and contentment. It's anxiety and just spinning, right? So it's so obvious. Like it's just so simple. This message is so simple and yet so difficult for people to start practicing. Is just transcend that voice. Just shut it up. Starve it of your attention. But we're so far gone that it's I might as well be asking people to do 100 push-ups in a row or something. It's so easy to get sucked into this. I know it is. But it's so simple, right? It's we're not battling demons with magical swords and spells and stuff. We're just doing normal everyday stuff. Is just don't look at the screen. Just don't engage in this life, basically. And I know there'll be a lot of teachers that say, "Oh, that's spiritual bypassing," but spirituality is bypassing this world. That's what it fucking is. You can't have the world and no suffering. The world is suffering. But people would rather hear that you can have both. You can have the world free of suffering. See what is happening and what's about to happen to human species. It is the most auspicious time for spiritual advancement because if we don't have to worry about food or money or a job, right? That's the perfect opportunity to practice. If the government is going to pay a person to just stay at home and eat and exist, then instead of diving into the screen, go the opposite way and use all that free time to just realize your enlightenment. Well, once you come to realize that every single experience is fundamentally unsubstantial, then what's the point, right? But instead of someone telling people that showing that every experience is fundamentally unsubstantial. Instead of that, people want someone to make experience substantial, right? So we manufacture stuff to do that we think is important, but none of it is. I think a lot of meditators don't ever actually find the self. So they don't take that extra level of depth of taking attention away from the senses as well, right? So there's meditation that can focus the mind on a mantra or something in the physical world, single pointed to stop the thoughts. But then the trick is to go one step deeper as well and not just stay at that level where you're aware of the bodily sensations and not aware of thought. So you go the next level and abide in that same beingness. That's the source of the thoughts, that's the source of the sensations arising too. So then you get to the state prior to the arising of the sensations, and it kind of gets to the periphery, and then you're just in bliss, right? Sat Chit Ananda, just thought free awareness. I just, I got there, right? You find the bliss, you find the perfect contentment, and then you want to share it because it is the natural state, and it just seems like a normal, natural thing to say, hey, I found this. really cool thing. It's the best thing ever. And now I want to share it with other people. But other people don't believe me that it exists, I think. It's so foreign. I'm becoming to really realize how foreign it is for people to not think. So when I talk to them about it, I might also be talking about being an alien or something because it's not a human experience. So I'm talking about superhuman abilities and they don't believe it. I think they must not believe it. Well, I can't get there, so it must not exist. And it can't be that good, right? It can't be that good. But yeah, and all that stuff is actually unsubstantial, right? It's so tough because once you get addicted, as long as you keep getting your fix, everything's cool. And people are still getting their fix. But I think that there is going to be a reckoning. There are safety measures in place so that we don't eat from the tree of life and get trapped, but we are trapped. So we did. So what about Ryan? What about all these satellites? And then you have one satellite that hits another satellite, and then the chain reaction thing. They're talking about that's a big possibility too, right? So that's another one of these safety mechanisms. Like if there's a mass coronal ejection and that fucks with the satellites and the satellites start smashing into each other, then there's no way we can even leave the planet anymore, which we shouldn't have in the first place. The sun is going to say enough of this, and the sword, the flaming sword that points in all directions, the sun, flaming sword, is going to knock all of this playtime like that. You humans have fucked around enough. So movement towards back towards simplicity and the Amish and learning to do things without electricity. Mm. That's the only way to save us, I think, is if there was a mass, like a Carrington event type, just knock out half of the, even a quarter of the world's electricity. Yes. Pretty much. I have deer walking in my front yard. So with this knowledge, you starve the ego, you attend to the practice. And then the mind will come and say, well, that sounds great. Let's read more about it. You see how it's tricky, right? Y- It wants to just keep thinking about how to get rid of the voice in the head. So the voice in the head will say, well, let's read more about getting rid of this voice in the head. While you're reading is creating the voice in the head. But that's still the voice. Yeah, that's still the voice. Oh, I've made it. I am now enlightened, says the voice. I can't even get these guys, these reality theorists, to agree with me that truth leads to the end of suffering. They don't even want to make a connection between falsity and suffering and truth and happiness. There's no connection with these guys to truth and happiness. There's no connection there, or falsity and suffering. They don't see a connection. So when there's no connection there, you can know as much about reality, right? You can know so much about reality at the deepest levels possible and still have a shitty life. I guess that's how they can justify that, right? It's like, yeah, I do know reality better than anyone on the planet, let's say. A mathematician is saying this, or a physicist. And yet they have a completely average life, full of suffering just like everyone else. Well, then what makes you so smart? What? What? Truth isn't just something that everyone can agree upon, right? The truth isn't a clock. A clock isn't truth. It's a relative form of truth, but it's not an absolute form of truth. It's absolutely relative. You have to learn how to interpret the information on a clock. And in the same way, math isn't truth. It's just something that everyone agrees upon. The rules have been agreed upon, so everyone can agree on the same results. So I guess that's truth in a relative way. So, Peter, there's apparently 350 reality theories out there right now. 350 named reality theories. And mine isn't one of them. Robert Kuhn, who declared himself as a monist. I can't remember what he's defined himself as. But the FMOR, of course, perfectly expresses his worldview. But no. And and they all fall short because of the Kobayashi Maru thing nothing language model that I keep showing people. This is why there's an idea of nothing, is because of this incorrect dualistic thing nothing model. I just don't understand how people don't understand. There's no such thing as nothing. That's all. It's an errant concept. Concepts can be wrong. They're the only things that can be wrong. Concepts are the only things that can be wrong, right? So we have to accept that some of our concepts are wrong. Yeah, it means that everything is off a little. It means that zero in the number system doesn't mean it means what I fucking say it means. It means potential. Zero represents potential. It doesn't represent the lack of a fucking thing. if a thing has arose and passed, that's that whole potential played out already, isn't it? So the zero of the numbers is the expression of an exhausted potential. That's that zero, isn't it? The zero of the number line that mathematicians use for quantity is an expression of the entire system of potential being exhausted. So why not just have that zero represent before it gets exhausted, before the system of potential starts running? So if we think of zero in the number system, we take it to be potential rather than just the lack of something. Well, that would fit in with the number system being a message of samsara, right? So at the zero, there's the potential to stay, right? So to stop. So the number system with zero meaning nothing just keeps going, right? There's no potential for stopping the number system. It just starts and fucks off for infinity. But if zero actually expresses the potential to go back to source and stop, then hello, we've just included consciousness in the expression of the number system. Zero is potential for enlightenment or to continue on. So I've just infused the number system with more explanatory power, haven't I? So everywhere you look, I have a reason, I have an argument to back up the argument. But they don't want to engage in this conversation with me. I've pointed this out, right? The whole number thing, zero is potential and it's greater expression in the number system, and nothing back. Nothing. Oh, I'm a philosopher of science, and I'm not going to get back to you on this. No one has any novel new thought. There's no novel thought. Those 350 theories, they're just redundant bullshit. They're like hard forking the Bitcoin blockchain. It's just the Bitcoin blockchain over and over and over and over and over. There's nothing new. Why aren't you writing a paper about the correct interpretation of quantum mechanics? Couldn't you do something like that? Well, they say words that they're right. The words that they say, blah, 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 is that they want to find it, right? They're putting forth a theory about reality, but they themselves don't realize that they don't want to stop. They don't want to stop thinking. But it's wrong, right? Quantum mechanics is wrong, right? There's no. So quantum mechanics leads to the development of new technology that verifies the math, right? So the math builds contraptions that affirm the math. But you see how it's just I, right? You understand my interpretation. So your reality fractal is a metaphor, right? It's a metaphor of quantum mechanics. It doesn't directly interpret it, correct? Yeah, but that's a metaphor, right? The reality fractal, right, is a metaphor, right? But what I'm saying is I'm showing exclusively, explicitly, why quantum mechanics produces the things that it does, the results that it does. It's because of I, the super concept of I. So that's the correct interpretation, right? Right. So that's what I'm saying is that quantum mechanics is just language. It's language that has completely detached itself from representing or being connected to physical experience, just like Ilan Barinholtz's theory is saying. So I've shown Ilan himself, who hasn't spoken to me only once in the last month or two, I've shown him exactly that this is what I'm showing, right? Is he's saying language can operate on itself without relating to the physical world, the world of sensual experience. And I'm saying yes. And quantum mechanics, the language built on the imaginary unit, is exactly this. It's exactly the final step in the process. There's many steps in this process where language completely detaches from its seed world and sprouts a new world. It's a whole new realm, the digital realm. So it's language that's constructing a new realm. And I've pinpointed exactly where it happens, the exact place where the new realm branches off and then separates. It's I know the correct interpretation of quantum mechanics, guys. Oh, yeah, that's a big part of it, right? Is that you have to recognize that this realm, even the realm of the five senses, is itself not fundamental reality. That's the big thing. So then they try to, without recognizing of the middle column, they try to Ponzi, bootstrap mind from body, body from mind. They just keep bootstrapping body, mind, body, mind, body, mind. But it doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah, you should. But I don't know when. I know, guys, and it's so great to have you guys here because it's better to have half a dozen believe you than none, right? But it's so wild that it's not spreading, right? It's just not. We've been here for how many years, guys, right? Couple years. and it's still just a half dozen of us. It's wild. It's so difficult to get people past the brainwashing. So if this would happen, it would probably happen in the fall. Like again, I just keep pushing this back and pushing it back, but I don't know. See, we're probably going to offer the basement to wildland firefighters again. So I don't know. Might be a bit too many people here at once if people start showing up while the firefighters are here. So it's either before May or after September. Yeah, fall. That would be great. Let's try to actually make some concrete plans here, guys. Hey, Peter has some sort of way to scam the government. Woohoo! No, I don't know what he's doing, but you can get here for the fall. So let's plan for the fall, maybe. So Ryan, what are you saying? When can you make it? If you could. Yeah. That's the point. It's supposed to kill you. Anytime before war. You'll be a draft dodger. You'll come up here to dodge the draft. See, if we do this in the fall, then I guarantee you I'll have the float tank going because the float tank hasn't been going for a year. And it's really cool tool. So yeah. So September, late September, early October, maybe. That's when it's the most beautiful here. The first week in October is just stunning. That'd be so great to have you guys finally here. My goodness. Yeah, well, just keep it in mind. Meditate. So it removes. So that's why I think maybe that's why I have this understanding of the deeper level beyond even the senses, right? So Vipassana would be, right? You're paying attention to the body sensations, the breath, the feelings of the body. But in the float tank, you're minimizing that. So there's very little sensory awareness at all input. So you can go to deep levels in that float tank for sure. Because in a way it's just mind in there. Well, science is the antithesis of spirituality. So science is that which projects the illusion. So what science has done is science has revealed itself to be bullshit. So that's handy. So once you realize that physics is exactly that which projects the illusion of duality, then you just stop science. Yeah, so they refuse to engage in metaphysics, so therefore they must insist that the world literally is, right, the multiverse, right? So in order for there not to be metaphysics, it has to be literal, right? So if it's literal, then the universe is actually splitting and dividing every time someone makes a choice. They believe that they're making a choice, and according to the math, then every time a person makes a choice, both choices have to come true. No, I'm making that prediction, Peter. I will be so wealthy that I can support anyone here. I thought it was going to happen this last year, but the 4-year cycle's all fucked up now. The Bitcoin 4-year cycle, you can't go on that anymore. So I really do think that. So I have 250,000 ADA, and I think that it's going to go to freaking $10 this year. So that would be 2.5 million. And I'm hoping again that my drone business will get going, get flying. So if we get 4 wildland firefighters again staying in the basement, and if I get drone work, and if ADA goes where I think it's going to go, 2026 is going to be the best financial year for me, maybe ever. Because the entire fiat monetary system is beginning to go into hyperinflation. It's just starting now. Yeah, the good thing is that more deer out there. The good news is that Paige is keeping us afloat with her massage. So we haven't had to hardly sell any crypto at all to survive. I sold my silver. Sold just about all my silver. It'll be fine. You got more crypto than you thought you did? Oh, silver. Yeah, fuck. I was so convinced that crypto this last year was going to be the fastest horse that I flipped all my silver. Basically, like 98% of my silver I flipped into crypto already. Oh, oh well. In the end, I'm sure it'll be the right move, but right now it's painful. Mm. So by now, so these are things that I know mathematically is that fiat currency mathematically has to go to infinity, right? It's based on debt, and therefore the inflation will eventually go to infinity because of the system. So Bitcoin will either go to zero or infinity based on that because it's you can't print Bitcoin, right? It's hard money. So it's a zero sum game. Either Bitcoin is going to zero or it's going to infinity. And it would have gone to zero by now if it was going to. So it's just a matter of time before the entire fiat currency system collapses into hyperinflation. And basically Bitcoin's going to infinity. And ADA will go to infinity times two. Uh, if our little community put like as much as it can into ADA, we'd be rich. I'm sure of it. If you can just tithe towards it, maybe 10% into ADA. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, that's why I'm working on gardens and fences and guns here. Well, the United States government is going to use crypto, right? It's going to try to use crypto. It's going to wave a magic wand and try to have crypto get them out of all that debt, $38 trillion worth of debt that they know they can never ever really ever pay back. So they're going to revalue gold. Yay, because I have 1 ounce of gold still. And they're going to go back on the gold standard in a fashion, and they're going to leverage all that new money somehow. The United States government needs the world to still buy government debt, and they're going to buy government. The world is going to buy government debt, government dollars through crypto stable coins. So anyone in the world that has a crypto wallet can basically buy an American dollar with whatever currency they operate in. Easy, right? So as soon as someone that's earning pesos or bolivars, when they get paid, they will buy a stable coin, which is connected, tethered to the US dollar. It's basically the same as owning a US dollar. So this is what they're going to do. This is the play, is that it's going to be crypto eventually. And Cardano has everything. It's the only one that's working on decentralization. Cardano is the most decentralized crypto platform and secure. It's never gone down and blah blah blah. So what's cool about my land here is that there's no zoning, which means I can build whatever I want here. I think I could have I can build whatever I want here. Any type of structure. I don't think there'll be rent so much. No, just this area in Canada. Like 98% of Canada, you require it's a special type of zoning, which is basically we're in the middle of nowhere. So the zoning, there is no zoning. We can just build whatever we want. Yeah. This is what I mean, right? Is we're way out in the boondocks. Like we're in the middle of fucking nowhere here, kinda. So we'll just slip under the radar. No one gives a shit what we're doing out here. I'm not I'm not causing a problem. I'm helping the community. think so. I don't think I have Jan cans. Yeah, so you could probably get a half decent house for 300,000 bucks. If you wanted a little parcel of land, probably $400,000. See, if 4 years ago we bought this house, but this is a mansion, right? It's 6,000 square feet and on 30 hectares of land for it was basically $1 million. But that was 4 years ago. And this house in a city would be worth, depends on what city. If it was Vancouver, it'd be worth 5 million bucks. Yeah, so there's very little light interference out there, I'm assuming. There's very little light out here as well. That could be your bug out location. Hmm. Yeah, so we could maybe we could look into, by we, I mean Peter, um, turning non-conceptuality into a religion. Because I could definitely set out very concrete, not rules, but I could write the whole thing out pretty succinctly. It's got a theory, it's got a practice, it's got goals. Because it's easier to sell something than it is to sell just sitting there in a chair, right? I'm leery about fucking with the banks at all. But yeah, if we had non-conceptuality, we could even get pamphlets and shit, right? We could, not that I want to evangelize very much, but I want to get this out there, right? This is a fucking message from God. And those who are ready to listen to someone saying that this is a message from God, like there are people that believe that God gives messages. So yeah, I'd like to make it something that we can produce, that we can present to people. Here it is. This is what it does, blah blah blah. It's an actual religion. That would be cool. Frederico and I are done. I think I burnt that bridge. Frederico will always have more money than me, always. I'm quite certain of it, but I don't need funding. I'm pretty sure I'll have the resources to do everything that I want. I challenged him. I challenged a couple of things in his theory, and he never got back to me. He never said, "Oh yeah, good point, and let's talk about it." He didn't do that. And I can't just, if I see a problem with someone's theory, I'm going to tell them about it so they can fix it. But he didn't want to fix it. So it was free will, right? He believes that there's free will. He needs free will for his theory to work. And I said, no, there's actually no free will. And then also quantum mechanics. He needs quantum mechanics to work conventionally, even though no one knows how it works. But he needs the conventional interpretation of quantum mechanics to work in order for his theory to work. So I told him, this quantum mechanics is nonsense, right? It's just I. So then after that, he just didn't want to talk anymore. And even Elan Barinholtz, it's just dried up. Conversation is just dried up. I believe you, Peter, but I believe you, and I believe my path will work as well. Yes, everyone is really just looking to affirm their own worldview. So they're looking for not the truth, they're looking for the truth that affirms their worldview. And the smarter you are, and the more people that you have believing you, then the easier it is for you to believe your own bullshit, even if it is bullshit. Peter, I just don't trust the law at all. I just don't give a fuck about what the law has to say. I just don't care. about the law. They can go fuck themselves. I'm in complete defensive mode. I I'm a good influence to the people around me, and I'm not moving. And fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. But I'm just in defensive mode. I'm not going to cause any problems until someone causes me a problem. Just leave me alone. That's all. Just leave me alone. I'll go for another half an hour. It's shocking. It's really shocking that how I can see everything so clearly and and it just doesn't get through to people. It just it's surreal to me. And I know I can't be crazy because I have a fucking awesome life. But again, it's all proof that we are at the end. Because if people are so fucking delusional that they believe what they don't understand, right? So here's the thing about physics and on all science is it's so complicated that no one person understands 1/10 of 1% of all of it. So if your worldview is based on something that you fully actually don't understand, and then it's a belief. A truth is only true if you understand the whole thing, right? And if you don't understand it, then you're just believing that it's true. So, in my theory, I believe that people can understand the whole fucking thing, the whole package, the whole narrative. If I told it, it would sound quite complicated and wild, but you'd understand it. Whereas try to get a physicist to explain to you quantum mechanics, right? It takes 4 years of schooling to try to understand that. And after all that, still quantum theorists still don't understand quantum theory. So even even quantum theorists say that they don't understand, that you can't understand quantum theory. Well, then the whole thing's a belief then. If no one understands it, then the whole fucking thing's a belief system, correct? And then we listen to people talk about the multiverse, and we're supposed to not burst out laughing because it's so ridiculous. Like we just accept ridiculous shit that scientists tell us, but the scientists just laugh at the religious narratives, whereas the scientific narratives are more ridiculous than the religious narratives. Yeah, if any, why don't they just contact you? Maybe throw up your email address. Well, it doesn't matter who it is. Everyone's pretty sure that their worldview is the correct one, including Buddhists, including Christians, Muslims. They all believe that their worldview is the correct one. So obviously, the way in which all 351 of those reality theories are wrong is because they're all language, and language itself is false. Do 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 do. Done. Solved. Yeah. 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 Nobody cares. It's like when there is actual meaning applied to language, they don't care. They don't want to know the actual meaning. They just want the sounds. They just want to pay attention to something that's shiny and flashing and makes a sound, I think, right? They just choose to not try to understand the meaning of the words that I'm saying. They I just don't be, because it's simple, they think it's valueless. That's what it is, I think. I think that through the process of complexity, value is gained. So they think that words that generate complexity and more words has more value than something that's simple. That's it. They think that something that's simple naturally has no value, and something that's complicated has more value or meaning to it. But it's the opposite. There's complexity because it's false, because it doesn't mean anything. Something with the most meaning just stops, right? 3 characters, all the meaning, stop. And naturally, the smartest people are the most addicted to their thoughts. So, right, good luck. I thought it would be kind of fun trying to break people out of their delusion, and it's not, because it's just so frustrating. You're dealing with crazy people. They're basically crazy. Everyone's fucking crazy. Everyone. Mm. Mm. So again, like, so Kurt had this guy, a philosopher of science, boss. I can't remember his last name, Hooten or something. Rooten, Boss Rooten. I don't know. No, that's the fighter guy. Anyway, so I contacted him. So he was talking about things, and he was talking to Kurt, and he said, I'm not a thing. I'm not an I'm not a thing of any kind. I'm not an abstract thing. So I contacted him. I said, well, if you're not a thing and you're not an abstract thing, then how are you not exactly the middle column of the fMOR? And guess what? He didn't respond. So I'm like, well, if you exist and you're one of these great philosophers about science, and I showed him everything basically, the quantum mechanics and the whole works, and he never got back to me. It's like, well, if you're not a thing and you're not an abstract thing, then how can you not recognize that you are the middle column of the fMOR? So again, when he talks to Kurt, it sounds like he's ardent and he's sincere and that he wants to figure these things out. And yet when I show him, because it wasn't him that came up with it, right? It must be the ego again. Like, oh, I'm this great philosopher, so therefore I can't be adapting someone else's theory because it should be me because I know it all. I don't know. Things that are so obvious to me, people just don't want to even engage in. Yeah, I don't even care that much about the credit. I just want people to start fucking meditating. I think that maybe the route to take with non-conceptuality is not directly bashing my head against the brick wall that is academia, but just try the other route. Go, these are messages from God, right? Like just straight out, just go for that demographic that believes that there is a God, right? So there's no point in even trying to sway atheists. Everyone is basically where they are. So I'm going for the demographic that believes there's a God or is on the fence that there could be one, and that they're willing to see how science is wrong, right? So I don't think I've been trying for years to just directly come at them, scientists and academics, but it doesn't work. So we'll get some stragglers maybe. We'll go for the ardent spiritual seekers, those who are willing to accept that maybe God communicates with humanity. But even Christians and even people that believe in a God, they still have their subtle beliefs. So if my beliefs don't, like, yeah, there's a God, but you can't be it, right? Yeah, there's a God, but there's no way that I'm it, right? So there's that belief that will stop people from understanding. So each fractal could be thought of as a language that's disengaging itself from the seed simulation or source, whatever, and it starts operating on its own, which Elan Barinholtz is showing can happen with language. So every language is fractally wrong. It isn't even relating to its uh, the reiteration of the way the fractals work. It's the same autoregressive system, I believe, that Elan's talking about. But that it doesn't necessarily even have to be an equation, right? So people call it math, but it's just the cyclical nature of samsara, and and the recording of it each time an iteration is done, there's something about the recording of it or the not recording of it. So that cyclical process could generate some sort of math, I guess. But the system generates the math, not the other way around, because that can be an analog system as well. This awareness coming back onto itself can be analog or digital, I believe. And computation is just that shifting of analog to digital, digital to analog, while trying to bridge the middle column. Right? So computation is basically the Ponzi scheme at work. That's how I see it. Calculation is basically thinking, isn't it? When you're calculating, when you're shifting analog information to digital information, you're being distracted. You're not focusing on self, on the middle column. You're Ponziing, you're bootstrapping. So it's not it from bit or bit from it. It is one column, bit is the other column, and the middle is. So again, I sent that boss guy. He said he's in the interview. Kurt asked him what you're into right now, and he said, "Oh, I'm into paradoxes right now." So I sent him Dobson's paradox, and he said, "Oh, isn't that fun?" He said, "Yeah, that's fun. Here's a book about other paradoxes." It's like, so it's just playtime. If I develop a paradox, it's playtime and fun. But when Gödel uses the liar's paradox to create Gödel's incompleteness theorem, that's serious. I'm not from academia, so I can't be a philosopher and I can't think straight, right? Yeah, it from bit. Yeah, right. It's yeah. Again, you have to include God. My theory, my FMOR, is proving the necessity of God in the theory. Nobody understands anything. all these systems are so complicated that no one understands how they work. They just sort of operate. And then when it all collapses, people will be shocked. Oh my God, how did this happen? I didn't see this happening. So, another reason why, after 2 years, there's still just half a dozen of us, and this makes sense, is that I'm explicitly revealing Satan's deepest work. Like, so there is going to be strong resistance, right? I'm battling the most powerful force in existence, right? And we've been programmed very, very, very effectively. So again, it makes sense in a way, even though what I'm showing is so obvious, is that people in a cult are brainwashed and they can't reason and discern for themselves. So this is the state of all of humanity, isn't it? This is the state of all of humanity. We have been brainwashed by the cult of academia. And it sounds like I'm a crazy person again saying this, but the crazy is out there, right? So the proof is all here. It's just, and the fact that it's so difficult to get people to see it is more proof of the theory itself, right? The deeper the delusion, the harder it is to get out of it. So, yeah, it's really deep, right? Exactly. It's not, yeah, everything is stacked against this. Like, there isn't someone that's going to come and try to assassinate me. It's not at that level, right? Because it's so deep that even the people pulling the strings don't realize that Maya's pulling their strings. So it's all so deep and so subtle and ubiquitous that it's fascinating. It really is fascinating, though. And it's been millennia, right? Like that fucking parasite has been working on this. It's like the Borg, basically. It just goes from planet to planet, I guess. And it got us. It's us. It's us. We're the fucking cancer here. We're the spores that have been spreading around to other planets. And now we want to spread to more planets. You see what's happening here. We can't be allowed to go to other planets. We're the fucking Borg, for fuck's sakes. So we are cancerous cells that have realized that we're cancerous cells and we're going into remission. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the entire cancerous human species to go into remission. We're the good cells here, the natural ones. All right, 10:30, time for football and stuff. All right. We are making progress. Things are happening. We will meet up here probably this year. All right. Hold to the practice, guys. Thanks for coming. Toodle-oo.